Amy, can we have you on stage, please? Our next guest is Shreya Ghodawat. Shreya is a dynamic advocate at a confluence of sustainability, climate action, gender empowerment, and veganism. And World Economic Forum global shaper, she passionately champions transformative policy initiative. Guys, I'm going to ask them some interesting questions, okay? So let's hear them. Shreya, my first question's to you. Global warming is largely attributed to fossil fuels, and environmentalists sadly don't see a connection between animal agriculture and global warming. According to you, what is the reason for this gap?
So there's a multitude of reasons why when anyone talks about climate change, they actually leave out agriculture. Number one being, it is a touchy topic. When you talk about someone changing their food habits, it's deeply personal. It's asking them to question their upbringing, their cultural practices, how they were raised. That is one reason why people don't want to address it. People love eating meat. I don't see the reason why, but with all the amazing choices and alternatives that we have, but it is a touchy topic. Secondly, there's a lot of propaganda behind it. There are a lot of lobbyists. It's in the interest of multiple peoples, countries, governments, policymakers, businessmen around the world who benefit from meat industries. So there's a cow-shaped hole in the narrative of climate change, and that is attributed to where the money is flowing, who's funding this propaganda, and who's benefiting from it. So I think those are top two reasons, just cultural choices, personal choices, and also who dictates the narrative and who pays for the narrative.
That makes the war for the vegans even longer, right? And Amy, I'm sure as a public figure, you have heard many comments against or against veganism. What is one comment that you heard most often, and what has been your reply to that?
Oh, wow, what an interesting question. So, Ruchika, I've been vegan for nearly 20 years. So, for me, I've kind of, I don't know if that deserves an applause or whatever. But the thing is, I've heard it all when it comes to arguments against veganism. It's crusty old comments, you hear them again and again. I would say the number one comment that I hear the most is, but plants have feelings. Plants are living things. And my answer to that is that, well, number one, plants don't have a central nervous system. It's basic science 101. But even if we pretended that plants did have feelings, at the end of the day, most of the world's plants are actually fed to the animals that we're breeding into existence to begin with. So if you care about plants so much suddenly, then all the more reason not to eat animals to reduce your suffering. It's that simple. So
That's common sense. Shreya, sustainability is the new chic, but unfortunately people still relate luxury fashion with exotic animal skins and fur, and as a status symbol in the society. How do you define luxury fashion in your social sphere?
I come from a family my family is Jain. So the principle of ahimsa was super important in our scriptures. Growing up, everyone spoke about ahimsa, which is, of course, non-violence, and it means kindness and compassion to all living beings. But somehow that definition was never expanded to what we wear, only limited to what we eat. So I think vegetarianism or, being ahimsa was just limited to diet and not lifestyle. So it took me a long time to understand that what I wear, what I consume, my handbag, to my leather shoes, to my leather belt, all of that has an impact. Someone was skilled in the making of that for my entertainment, for my consumption, just for an outfit, for that matter. So I think the issue is that luxury, we haven't made it aspirational yet. To us, what is aspirational is buying an expensive handbag that comes out of crocodile skin. But if we look at making kindness, compassion, empathy the new luxury and the new sustainability and make that aspirational, I think that's when you change definitions. That you really don't have to wear a dead skin. I mean, call it what it is. It's not an Hermes bag, it's dead skin. Someone died for it. So when you define it that way, I think you will start seeing change happen. Because to me, that is not luxury. Having money to buy something that has so much cruelty, so much oppression, so much exploitation behind it is not luxury. I mean, someone else is paying the price for it, right? So that's how I define luxury. And I mean, look at us, we're both wearing everything vegan top to bottom. So if you can look as glamorous as, I mean, my co-founder Amy is looking here right now, and you can be...
Just as a disclaimer, I usually look like a homeless man. I don't usually wear dresses.
That's not true. So if you can make veganism look as sexy, as glamorous, and as aspirational, you know, while looking good, feeling good, and doing good at the same time, I think we can call that the new luxury.
Amy, you're the founder of the podcast Kindness with Amy. How do you envision your work evolving in this area for the next 3 to 5 years?
Ruchika, so Kindness with Amy is something that I started 6 months ago in collaboration with Generation Vegan. And we wanted to create a platform for a discourse within the Australasian market for people to be able to discuss topics relating to ethics, relating to veganism, relating to all aspects in a really candid way. And Kindness with Amy has given that platform. And it's been very interesting because I've traveled around the world. I've spoken with amazing doctors, game changers in the industry, and it's given me a platform to create a communication line with non-vegans. And that's kind of been our approach, is to start a conversation with people that are not already vegan and create short form content that's interesting and digestible and stuff that incites people asking questions, people wanting to have a conversation. So I see that growing further and further, and we want to reach more people's phones. We want to create more communication lines. We really want to disrupt the way that people think, and not in a off-putting, typical preachy kind of way that people assume vegans can be, but in just a very gentle, thoughtful way, just to get the ball rolling with people changing their mindsets.
If you haven't heard Amy's podcast, I'll highly recommend you all hear that. It's called Kindness with Amy. Do check it out. Itself is enough. But that's a great initiative. Where can people find out more about this?
So people can head to meatlessmeatmore.in to join the community, firstly, so they can stay up to date with any upcoming events, and you can learn all about our event.
And our website, you mentioned the website, our Instagram, our personal handles, however you want to reach out to us, we are accepting applications.
Great, looking forward to it. And thank you so much for taking all the time and coming here. Thanks a lot. It was great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.